Want to start us off?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, do the
one.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't a DC-1 presents, is it?
No, it's an exploit night.
Oh yeah. Everyone,
It's a series we're gonna start.
Yeah, welcome to Exploit Night. I guess is the first one that we're running. Bash is our wonderful presenter here, Bash Ninja.
Thank you.
To start us off today, we're doing the text for shell exploit. Not sure what the next one is, but.
Cool. No, we don't have a next one. If you like the exploit night stuff and you have an exploit that you're passionate about, you want to share, we can do that. How many people do we have in the room? Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
15.
14 or 15. So 15 with me included. Perfect, because I created 15 Docker containers for us to play with.
I'm running my own right now.
Okay, so before we get started,
where's the slides?
I posted them in the Hackerspace channel on Discord.
Not in the event announcement?
No. I posted them just now.
How do you have 3.5 horses?
We'll talk about that. Don't skip the slides, guys.
Did you eat one of them?
Okay, we're going to talk about text for shell today.
Why not mention your implant?
I'm super excited about it, mostly because this vulnerability was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to kill my month, and it didn't. Log4j was the one that did that. So yeah, my name is Bash Ninja. I am part of the board here at 801 Labs. I am a member of DC 801, not a board member. I know it kind of looks like that. There are no board members of DC 801. There's just Grifter. I am a security incident responder. Most of you know that. Okay, you were asking about the horses. When I say 3.5 horses, it's because one of them is a Shetland pony, and she's only like 2.5 feet tall, so she's half a horse. I'm married and I love doing home labs. If you guys haven't joined the Utah Home Labs Discord and you like talking about servers and really weird Chinese motherboards and stuff like that, yeah, that's a great place to go hang out. Okay, so I posted here a bunch of sources for things that we'll be using. I don't expect you to look at the slide and find any use out of it until you go and look at the PDF. So you can go through and read the sources. We're going to use some tools here. We've got some documentation, but the biggest thing being is these write-ups and blogs. If you want to really learn how it works beyond my small overview, reading through those is super important. So before I get started, do we have any questions? One.
What are the IP addresses of the Docker container?
Okay, what are the IP addresses of the Docker container? So let me pull it up. I'm doing this in PowerShell, so this will work fine. But this is the IP, 192.168.10.118. Now,
And the other...
I'm not going to tell you how to access them yet, but as long as you can ping this IP address, right, you should be good. For those who are on Discord, so it's just you run your ping command, and if you can ping it, you'll be fine. But those on Discord, you should have created a Docker container, 2 of them actually, and you have mapped the port 2201. Well, that's what you will use. So you'll use the IP of your Docker host, and you'll connect to that port 2201 later in the class. But for those who are here in person, I've done all the work for you, so you can just make sure you can ping that. And it should be available on the guest Wi-Fi. If you don't have a laptop, we have a bunch of Chromebooks in the room over there in the corner. You can grab one. It's okay that they're crappy because all the work is going to be on the Docker containers. All right, other questions? Nope. All right, good. So, CVE 2022-42889. So I'll get to you in a second. So this is lovingly named text for shell. I read a whole blog article while I was doing research for this where people complained about it being called text for shell. People are getting really annoyed with all the named vulnerabilities. This one is kind of a weak one, and so I kind of think it's silly that it was named text for shell, hence the stupid logo drawn in paint, because why give it a name, right? The way this started, this is a vulnerability for an application called Apache Commons Text. So this is a library for Java applications, and it's used for doing different modifications or interpolations. Is that a word? Interpolations? Modifications to text in Java. So this vulnerability started off from this email to the security distribution group, the Apache Commons, and I wanted to read it because it covers most of the important stuff that we need to know. So they say Apache Commons Text performs variable interpolation. This allows properties to be dynamically evaluated and expanded. The standard format for interpolation, I'm going to say that wrong, is $, prefix, name, where prefix is used as the instance to use a lookup. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Here's some code. You see this $sign right here? This is kind of the standard format that you will see in here. So if you're used to using Python or C, you've got that string format type feature. This is a similar library that does something like that. So they continue and say, starting with version 1.5 through 1.9, there are a set of default lookup instances included that could result in arbitrary code execution or contacting remote servers. These lookups are script, DNS, and URL. All right, I'm not going to read anymore. So the gist of it is there is a class in this code called string lookup factory. Let's just pull this up and actually look at the documentation for this code, this library. So in here, they have different lookups that you can use. So they've got like base64 decoder, file, localhost, XML, yada yada, right? In here, they also include 3 more that should not be included by default. Why? Because there's a lot of there's a lot of risk in including these. These are DNS, so doing a DNS lookup, URL, which is going and hitting a URL, and then script, which is actually running a script on the host, right? So they're not supposed to be included by default. Well, obviously I say supposed to be because in this case, they were included by default. And so especially the script one is the one that's a problem. So as soon as that was allowed, it allowed you to put something in that string and then run a bit of code on the host. How many of you are familiar with Log4j and that vulnerability back in December of last year? Yeah. Yeah, it was that long ago.
What?
Yeah, right? It's kind of similar to this one in the way that, you're putting strings into it, you're doing kind of a lookup, and you're getting code run. But it's actually different for us, people who are looking at a vulnerability saying, are we going to get hacked by it? Because it's not so commonly used as Log4j that it's a huge problem. Log4j was in everything. I mean, it was in freaking Minecraft. Right? You could send a string in Minecraft chat, it would get logged, and then you'd hack a server.
It's believed that was one of the first found instances of it.
Yes, it is.
12-year-old who did it.
It was not a 12-year-old who did it. It was somebody in China, but we can dig into the Log4j another time. But the gist of this one is this is different because 1, it's not commonly used. 2, you are actually a lot of this you're expecting to have malicious, most people who code and use this are expecting the input to be untrusted. So they're gonna go through and filter it. Like if you look at a lot of code projects, most people and most companies said, hey, this wasn't a problem for us. 1, because we don't take untrusted input, and so we filter anything bad out of it. And 2, in the places that we do use this feature, we don't really use it in a spot where somebody could add text and we can parse it. It's something that they don't have the ability to control. So it ended up being pretty much a big nothing burger. I mean, it was a big vulnerability and you could hit RCE, but very few applications ended up being vulnerable for it. So I'm going to show you here I have some code on how you would use this normally. And so I've got a string and a text here, a text variable that we create, and I just put that string in here and I create this parameter for us to go off of. Now in here we're creating a map, a hash map. If you're familiar with Python, this is very similar to a dictionary with the keys and values. So in here we're going to create the first key, the first item, and we're going to give it the same name as what we want to replace and then what we want to put in there. And then it's going to go through, we're going to create a new object called substitutor. We're going to put in the hash map into it, and then we're going to run that on the my text. And that just creates a new string and we put it out. So basically what that does is we can change this variable here and change it to be hello world, or we can change it to be whatever we want. And if we use this library, we can edit this string here and insert it into it. It's pretty simple. Here's what it looks like if we're trying to hack it, right? Instead of having that original string being this is a foo text containing, you know, your parameter, you could put whatever you want, but the parameter being this lookup instead, and the lookup being script colon, and then you can do all kinds of fun stuff. So in this case, we're actually getting exec on the host or running touch, and we're creating a file on the host. Pretty simple. Does anyone have questions?
You could probably replace that with like netcat, so on, so forth.
We could replace it with netcat. This is just a test payload, but there's a lot of cool stuff we can do. So now that we know how to do it, and we know the background of the vulnerability, and we kind of have a feel for how it works, what's happening is it's accidentally including those three lookup types when the developers didn't expect it to. You can get remote code run on a box. So I want you guys to try it. So let's try and get remote code on a box, and let's hack stuff, because that's the point of Exploit Night, right? So all you need to do is, okay, we're gonna assign everyone a number, and then that's your box. So I'll start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope. 8 in white, 9, 10 with Taco, 11 with Nemus, 12, and then Duzzy with 13.
Am I 9?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so what you'll do is to get to it, you will SSH, and you'll do Kali at, and then the IP, and you do -P for port, and 22, and then your number. And my number is 15. Now, if you're on Discord or you've set it up yourself, your number is going to be 01, and then the IP is going to be the IP of your Docker host.
Is there a password? So is that 229 or 2209?
192.168.10.118.
Well, I mean for the port.
So your port will be 09.
Yeah, that's why I assumed.
01, 02, 03, 04, all the way up to 15, depending on your number. And then the password is Kali. Wow. Right? So username is Kali, password is Kali. All right. So that should drop you into the host. So 192.168.10.118 and then -P.
Looking good. My man.
All right, so you all need to get this shell.
Done. Shell.
All right, who here has a shell? Raise your hand. Who here is trying to get a shell still?
And so the port for me would just be 03, right?
Yep, it would be 2203 if your number is 3.
What do we got here? What's in here?
All right, so to access our vulnerable host, we can ping text for shell.801labs.org. That's our host, right? And so if we want to hit it, you can do curl and you can hit the page and you should get a response back. So this is our host that we're trying to attack, is text for shell. Were you able to get in?
No, that's okay.
All right.
192.168.10. What?
192.168.10.118.
Alright, we're good. I deep sleep.
Then you just get a bunch of.
Okay, so for us to hit the box, just run the command curl space text for shell.801labs.org. Okay, and now let me show you the code that we're running. So let's see, let me pop this out.
404.
Where are these PDFs?
I posted them on the Discord. Where is... Okay, so we are running... Nope, not that one. This is our Docker container. So the Docker container, let's look at the source code for the machine that we're hitting, just to make it easier for us. This is what it looks like. So we have a endpoint called /attack, and we have a parameter called search that we can hit. So what we'll do is we'll type attack $search equals, and then we can put our search term in here. And basically what that does is it allows us to edit this value, this search value. And so you've got your .replace, and then you've got your search. And if you were to normally, like we've got in the slides, normally you would have something similar to this, where you've got this string right here. It's allowing us, and we've got the .replace, which is my text. It's allowing us to edit this my text variable and change what we're putting in here. So if I type that, let's see, attack search equals, and you can see that it's giving us a not found. Let's see, we're getting a status 404 not found. No message available. Perfect. So in here is where we're going to want to put our payload. So let me show you a little bit about how we will format our payload. Okay, copy. Let me pull up Notepad. Oh, yeah, I did make a mistake. This is why you're getting it. This is not the endpoint. The endpoint is .801labs.org/text for shell/attack. Oh, it is looking like trash. Hang on. Sometimes I hate you, PowerShell. Kali. 10.118-P2215. And then I'm going to grab this. Okay. So when you run it, you should get a response back. Does that make sense? Is everyone at least here where they're getting search results for and then something? Perfect. So now we can craft our payload. So I'm going to pull up this payload that I showed you. Let's actually just make it big. So in here we've got this whole long script, and then the actual attack that we want to run. I'm going to post this in Discord real quick so that you can get a copy of it, but it's also on the PDF.
I made a rule for this.
You made a rule for this?
Yes.
So...
And it would catch this, probably.
It would definitely catch this.
Mm-hmm. If you ran this and you busted.
So let's put it in here. And then I'm going to do touch. Okay. So this is kind of what it looks like. The problem with running this specific command, does anyone know what's wrong with running it that specific way? Go ahead.
It's just touch temp foo.
Yep.
You want to actually put a payload in it.
Don't you need the URL encoder?
Yes. So Nemus got it just right. Problem is when we run it, we're still getting the search results for, and then it's the super cyan. This is our default value. If we look at the GitHub repo of the code, that's the default value that it has. It's not taking our parameter. And Nemus is right. It's because we need to URL encode it. We've got all these fancy symbols that we're putting into the path that the Java web server just doesn't like, and so we need to encode them. So I like to use CyberChef to URL encode this. And so we can take that and just type in URL encode, and then we can encode all special characters, and then we can get the URL encoded version of that very payload. So I'll grab the URL encoded version. Wow. Okay. And just paste it. It is not liking word wrapping on the big screen. That's Windows PowerShell for you. But we do get search results for it. And then it's coming back with our payload. That should have worked, but we have no way of knowing. So let's get into some cool. Now that we have an RCE and we are assuming it's running, what's a way for us to know that it's working? Netcat. All right. What should we do with Netcat?
Have it connect back to you.
All right. So let's have it connect back to us. So, how should I craft that? The payload.
And I guess you want two terminals. You want one opening with Netcat listener, and I can't remember.
Okay, so he's saying Netcat, but we need two terminals to get. Does anyone have an easier way to do this? Do we have any red teamers in here? Do we have any red teamers in here? How would you validate that this command is running?
LS.
Is there like something we could do? It's not going to give us any output, but we need to check. LS. We could run LS, but it won't
give output.
Won't give us output. I'm fishing, but there's a couple ways we can do it.
We could ping a system that we could validate.
We could ping a system that we could validate. That's a great idea.
I don't know how to capture pings. That's why I didn't.
I don't want to set up something that can listen to pings. We could do. He's saying.
What is it?
That's the way we're gonna do it. We could set up TCP dump on a host and just wait for pings to the IP. That'd be pretty easy and a little bit easier than Netcat. There's another way that is even fancier, and it's doing DNS requests. Because sometimes on a host you're not allowed to ping externally, but you can query a DNS. So there's a website that I found. It was made by one of my friends. It's called there's a lot of different ways. Pip's named Canary tokens. There's one called interact.sh. This one's very little known. It's called requestrepo.com, but it's my favorite because it's way better than the rest of them. And so when you hit the site, it gives you a custom domain up at the top that we can have it query. So we're just going to run an NS lookup on the host with that specific IP, that domain. So instead of touch, I'm going to type NS lookup and then the domain.
Lookup.
Thank you. I misspelled lookup. So let's grab that and let's go put it in the payload. And what we're waiting for is we're waiting for something on this left here to show us that we've gotten a DNS request. So let me just.
So the payload goes in the temp foo area?
Yes, it does go in the temp foo area. Right click, copy, enter. All right, so I'm assuming that what it did is so you've got that so this is your temp food, and this is where you put your payload, is inside of that exec. Let me make it up near the top. So it's right there where you're putting that payload. Does that make sense? So we'll come back to request repo, and bam, we've got some DNS requests. So we know that it's hitting the DNS request. What's something else we could do? Well, because making a DNS request, RMRF, let's burn everything to the ground.
Well, we would want to check what
Are we all
permissions we
hacking
have.
into the same Docker container?
Don't use the same, guys, don't use the same domain as me. I'm seeing a few others that are coming in too. Make sure you generate a new URL. So I'm going to just delete all these and generate a new one so that I have a different URL than the rest of you.
CyberChef, you click bake or something? Is that
So on CyberChef, it just automatically runs it. You can click bake, but it'll pop it up in the bottom.
something different?
Let me show you guys some cool cyberchefing. This is actually really fun.
And just look,
One of the things that I liked, well, here, I'll just,
Quick test all my URL rules.
so I built this last night because I was bored and I got sick of typing it over and over as I was playing with payloads. Have any of you guys used the register feature of CyberChef?
No, what's that do?
Oh my gosh, your life is about to be changed. Okay, so let me walk you through this thing that I wrote. I have two lines here on the top right. The first line being the curl command that I've got, and the second line being what I want to URL encode. So what I do with CyberChef is I use register, and I'm going to extract the first line and put it into register R0.
Okay.
Then I'm going to find and replace the first line and delete it. So it shows up in the output, so it's just got that, right? Then I will turn on URL encode, so it URL encodes that second line.
So register is just some memory, some space. That you
Yep,
can
and then
upload
I might have
to-
accidentally deleted
it's
it.
like assembly.
Hold up.
It gives you the ability to have a variable pretty much.
Yes.
Modify. That is amazing.
And then
That's the best thing ever.
you can put in, where is it?
I'm
Find,
happy.
you can do find, replace, find and replace, and then I can take, oh, what is going on? It's like,
I barely understand what you just did.
that's okay. This isn't really important for the class. I'm just showing people who've never used CyberChef's fancy features. Then I'm going to find the first line, and I'm just, the first bit, and I'm just going to replace it with $R0. And what it does is it crafts the whole thing into a single line with the first bit that I saved in the register not encoded and then the second bit encoded. So I can just tweak it and then copy and paste the whole thing. Cool thing about CyberChef, not really important for this. Anyways, so one of the things that I went through and did is I wanted to get Etsy password, because that's kind of like your proof that you could do cool stuff. If you want to go take it to a company with a bug bounty, if you can show them you have Etsy password, you're getting money. Like, like it's one thing to say I have an RCE, but it's another thing to show that you can get useful data out of it. The problem is we're not really able to get output. I can't just do cat Etsy password because it's just going to run it and I never see anything back. So one of the things that I did is I chained two payloads together. First payload is I use curl to download a file, which ends up being a shell script. And then the second payload is running my shell script, which that shell script will post the Etsy password to our request repo site.
Can you make a fancy DNS request?
You can make a fancy DNS request. I had some weird issue. For example, here, let's just try that real quick. If you do something like,
What does it mean, unexpected token near?
if you do something like NS lookup, and then here's the DNS, and then we're somehow able to put like hacker, like special data here, right? If I do something like that, it's just adding additional domains to the beginning.
Go to the domain.
It will.
So you could just have in that
could
line
post
like
that.
a read Etsy password or
You could use.
all sorts of stuff.
So I'll paste that.
You need the new.
I need the new. Hang on. I need a new request repo domain.
It'll run it, right? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How much can we run? It has to
As
go-
much as we want.
Can we,
So I run that again, and then you can come over here, and you can see that you're seeing special data here dot then our special domain.
okay.
So let's build a script. This is cool. So one of the fancy features about request repo is I can edit the HTTP response. So I'm just going to write a shell script right here. And then I'm going to do...
One of your friends posts this,
Uh-huh.
they just let people post garbage.
Uh-huh. It's not a great idea, but he does. And he's not the only one. There's tons of these types of sites everywhere. So I'm going to do a curl. Let's do -x. We're going to make a post request. And then we're going to give it some -d for data. We do the @/etc/password. Right? And so what this curl command does is we're going to make a post request, and then the body of the post request is going to be a file. That's what the @ symbol is, and then I'm giving the path to the file. And then we need to do a domain. So what was the... Here we are. And we'll do http://requestrepo.com. So that seems like a pretty simple shell script to run. We could just run this manually as the payload, but I had some issues. It just wouldn't work. So that's why I ended up going the shell script route. There's something in the way that the encoding was having problems that it didn't work. It's the nature of...
What if can you pass a variable anyway into the, like, could you assign a variable inside of bash and then use the variable to eliminate?
Possibly, but this is way easier. And most people, what they'll do is they'll have it just download a specific file and then run it, and then you get interactive shell with the box, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm just editing it and hit save changes. So now when I hit the page, let me just test it and make sure. We should, let's just do it in a browser. We should get our shell script that we wrote. It is not working. But I am getting a ton of DNS queries for it. All right.
I'm still not getting anything on my...
Let's just do it in our Kali box. Oh, I wonder if we're hammering his box.
Get a message.
Okay. So I see a get request, a bunch of get requests for the domain. All right, it came back and it did not work. It's like it's not, hang on, it's not saving my changes. Oh, guys, why'd we hammer it? There's only so many of us. All right, let's not do that then. We won't use request repo to download it. We'll use our Kali box. So I'm going to do IPA. And you can look at your IP address. This is an internal IP. If we were actually hacking something, you'd probably want to find a VPS or something that's got a public IP that we could do this from. So I'm going to make a directory called payload. Vim. We'll call this run. We'll call it just run. That's not one. Let's go grab our shell script that we wrote. Okay. And let's post this to our new box, which will be this IP address.
Are you doing this inside the Docker container?
Yes. So we have you have two Docker containers available to you. One container is your Kali box. The other container is the one you're hacking.
So, is there any difference between what we're doing and you're doing? Because like when I copy and paste stuff, it's just all over the place.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything readable, and even when I do, it's like...
I'm not sure what you mean.
But I'm just, is there any difference between your setup and our setup?
No, I just SSH straight to one of the machines that you guys had. I just hit 15 instead of 2 or whatever.
Yeah, for some reason, like when I copy and paste stuff, it's not easy along the terminal.
Maybe don't use. I had some problems with this on my Windows machine. The Windows terminal was being weird. So you might have more success.
I'm running Mac on a Mac terminal. Anyway, I was just curious.
Maybe run screen on your Mac and then open it inside of screen. It's something to do with the way the terminals are set up.
Maybe a different shell too. ZSH.
I can't get the curl to work when I'm trying to attack the box.
We're not doing curl right now. We haven't done any curl yet. All right.
Well, we've been doing curl text for shell.aol.org /text for shell /tag $search.
All right. So you're unable to make.
I can make the curl and I can get the result.
Yeah.
I can't get the payload in.
So, will you look at the screen? Is that what you're typing?
Yes.
And does it say results for AOEU?
Yeah.
Then you're getting it working.
But when I give
think
it
he's
any
got
sort
the
of
same
string,
issue
even
I
when
have.
part, even when like turned into the net whatever, it won't work.
So,
Anything past the simple search won't work.
so what I am doing, so I'm having some weird terminal problems too, and I am just I'm typing it somewhere else, and I'm just pasting it in the terminal, hitting
Yeah,
enter.
I'm doing the same thing. When I paste it in there, it's all over the place.
Yeah, I'm having the same issue
And
with
then,
my
I'm like,
WordPress
and then you
stuff.
hit enter, and then it's just.
Tr-
That's happening to me too.
I'm having the same
It's
issue
like
except when I hit
broken
enter it
lines.
says unexpected token near wherever.
Yeah.
What happens if you do bin/sh instead of doing ZSH?
What's the
Try it.
Go to code chef. Put URL code. So basically, if you go to the search, type in script colon search. Well, so you're in your terminal, you do search equals.
Yeah, if you do /bin bash, it seems to work a lot better.
Or bin/sh?
Basically, what I've done is
It's probably something to do with the way that I built the Kali container.
that you're executing. So
Yeah, I
you're
think that's the main
run the
thing.
script that is calling JavaScript.
Okay, so I have this run.
You did search equals.
So let's craft a payload that pulls this.
The URL encode this line of text.
So let's do curl dash o slash run. Bad substitution. Oh, right.
Yeah.
I need the bottom one.
So the bottom one for me is the same as the top.
You need you need to URL encode this bottom half and then add them together. So here I will paste the fancy CyberChef script that I wrote into Discord, so you can use that if you want. But the gist of it is this top line needs to be not URL encoded, and these other items need to be URL encoded.
So I think I know why we're picking down different stops.
Why?
When we're doing the inner lookup, it's not stopping.
Yeah. That's a very good point. And this lookup's going to keep going for a minute.
I see. Okay, and then I should be able to do run.
Oh, I got.
Oh, so the other thing I need to do is I need to actually start a web server.
It's now recognizing it. And it's just returning what I give it.
Yeah.
Python.
Oh,
Do
I
you
got
get
it now.
flag to execute what
I'm
it just
giving that
downloaded,
cat
or a
to-
curl flag to execute what it just received?
All right, so I'm just gonna create a Python web server. Oh no, I want. It is hot.
Yeah, that got warm.
Python web server, change ports.
Is it -P?
Let's try it. -P80. Nope, but
Hold on,
just
oh,
80.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So there we've got a Python web server, and let's. I need to actually.
This is so much harder than Bitburner.
It is hard.
Hacking's hard.
So let's see if it actually posted anything. It didn't. Of course it didn't. If any of you guys want to check.
Is it because you got that? There's a space between SH and run. That looks like
No, you're telling SH to run that.
yeah.
So this is the fun part about running an exploit, is most of the time you don't know why it's not working. And this happens all the time, and it's obnoxious, and it's super painful. I know what my problem is right now. I never saw a GET request for my my payload, so it never downloaded it. So this curl, it didn't work. And I'm not sure why it hasn't worked, but we can keep trying.
Curl on the machine.
I do know that curl is on the machine. So let's try, instead of just doing curl, let's do /user/bin/curl, and maybe that'll work. Because maybe it doesn't know the path to run it on.
When you paste, try Control-Shift-V.
Control-Shift-V.
See if that
We could do this with Netcat. I just looked it up.
Let's see if I can hit it from here. Yeah, that does work. So the IP, it is running.
Very straight substitution in your search.
What if it's user sbin?
Yeah, it could be weird.
There we go. I got a reverse shell.
Okay, user sbin. We actually got a. Oh no, that's my other one. Dang it. So let's see. What did I actually do myself? Curl.
This is just netcat LVP 4409.
Yeah, but
This is just
That's what I was doing in.
Netcat sucks.
IP address
To live in.
449-E.
What?
Fuck you, that's awesome.
If you had to set it up more than just one time, yeah, you'd want something more than just Netcat.
Netcat is one of the most versatile tools. You can do so
No,
much more
I'm
than
saying
you can
Netcat's awesome, but if I was going to set up a shell permanently, I would much rather have
One
like
terminal
Bash or
is
something.
acting
I'd find some crappy web
as
shell.
host,
Yeah,
read
something.
the server. The other acts as a
Something
client.
is better than just
And it just
raw
opens the
Netcat.
reverse shell.
You want to do the Netcat?
Okay. Let's try ditching the HTTP. Maybe that's my problem.
And then after you get the reverse shell,
Hey, that worked.
No, he's using Netcat.
So that worked. That got it from, you can see, IP3.
There you go, yeah.
So it didn't like the HTTP colon for some reason.
same time how again?
I don't know why. It's probably something to do with the URL encoding, or the fact that you've got this script. I don't know.
It's probably some of the URL encoding because whack is.
Python uses.
Okay, and then we get, after that we get an actual request as the second time. So let's actually just do a TCP dump.
Yeah.
Oh,
Legit execution.
TCP dump's weird, doesn't it have Wireshark?
Why are we using TCP dump?
so the Python web server, doesn't. Holy flip!
Is this logs or something?
Yes.
Holy flip!
That's like acknowledge.
Okay.
That's you.
So here we get our outbound requests, but I don't see anything incoming. Here we go. So I'm not getting any post requests. So our payload isn't running yet. Oh, here we get a 480. Oh, it's because we don't have a TCP server running. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to come up with a way to do stuff without request repo because it's broken. And I wrote everything to work with request repo. So instead, what I'm doing is I'm spinning up my own web server with Python. So Python 3 HTTP server, but it doesn't show you the results of a post. And we're trying to post a file to it. The other server did, which is really nice. So instead, I'm going to use TCP dump, and I'm going to listen to the traffic when it makes a post, and see if I can pick up. I'm trying to have the server post the Etsy password, because that's the cool part. But I just don't see that happening. It's driving me nuts.
Test your post command without the exploit. Make sure that it works the way you think it does.
Okay, so let's take a look at the post request. It should be.
So run it on a machine that you have access to, and then see if it actually will execute the way you think it does.
So here we get unsupported method post. Okay, so the Python web server doesn't accept post requests.
Are you just trying to do basic code?
Yes.
This Python we get.
You know, we could always just install an Nginx server. I mean, it's kind of silly, but
That's usually where you end up when Bash is in charge of the class.
Why are we installing Nginx?
I call it Nginx. It's because I'm trying to get a post request to run.
Here's a simple Python.
Well, we could also do a netcat listener. That's probably a better way to do it.
Yeah, if you did, well, yeah, you're gonna get the full HTTP request.
Which is who cares?
Do netcat-lvp.
LVP.
Port 80, and then do for the command you're executing on the other machine. Do NC. There's a lot of shit.
Bad substitution. Okay, let's see if
You
that.
just copied both.
I did just copy both. You're right.
Grabbed everything again. And,
Okay, so let's go take a look at an NCAT. Nothing.
So something's weird with your script. But go to
run your
CyberChef.
script on a normal terminal with the MCAT, see if it actually posts. It might. Well, the thing is, Chrome might be looking for the HTTP.
So it does work on here, but it's not working on the other box.
Do you have any weird quotes or anything in the script?
Now let me show you. Oh, remember how I said it wasn't working with the colon?
yeah, just get rid of the.
But that's on the box I'm trying to run the payload on. So I need to I need to edit it. So vim run. So let's change that to not have. And then I can run the payload again to pull it down with, no colon. So hopefully that has run curl, which downloads this file and then writes it to /run. And then I can do another command, which will, let's turn on TCP instead of netcat, and then son of a, I just closed it, whatever. Right click, copy, paste. So this should run shell and should run that run thing that we downloaded a second ago. I get nothing back with netcat. Should we just run straight netcat as a payload?
If you want to get in.
If you want
The
to
easy way.
do, NC, then the IP.
So our IP was that one right there. Okay,
And then space, and then the port,
80.
and then space -E to execute, and then space bin sh or whatever shell you know works.
Okay, let's try that. All right, so on the listening side, we need to do like that, and then let's run the payload. Okay, cool.
There you go.
There you go. So that's Etsy password.
Now you can RM.
So that's way better than what I was doing before.
But it's an easy way.
But it's way easier. Okay, does anyone know a better shell than a netcat shell?
Python shell.
All right. Slash. So let's do a.
Because your victim's not gonna have netcat on it. Unless it's already been pwned. So.
That's true. That's very true.
You've been.
I actually specifically installed netcat, so it would be way easier for us.
Mine came with that.
Why is netcat running?
Why is so here's a really fancy way to upgrade your shell with Python. It's just this run Python and it spawns bash. So let's see if we have Python installed. Nope, we don't. Okay.
You can do
Would you just
there's
install
bash
it?
shells. What about Perl?
Would that take too long?
Okay. Let's see. So we're actually running as root on this box.
If we're gonna cheat.
So if we're gonna cheat, let's install
just-
Python.
Let's not even do that. Let's just make a user and add ourselves to the SSH and then SSH in.
There's
Come on.
SSH isn't running on this. So
Okay,
let's
we can
see.
install SSH.
So
Microcontainer though, it actually might not do anything.
it will on this one. So let's install SSH. So how do we figure out what OS we're running?
You name
Una
A, was it?
dash A.
Yeah.
All right. What OS is it?
Linux.
What distro?
I can't remember.
It just says
it
Linux
depends
on
on
this
the
distro.
You can't you?
Probably some Debian variant.
Yep.
Count
LS.
OS release.
LSB.
Oh, Q's here.
Yeah.
I was like, that voice sounds like it's.
It's a trustworthy voice.
That's a.
Dash A. LSB release is not here.
@/Etsy/release.
OS,
Mhm.
OS.
OS release, sorry.
OS dash release.
Alpine Linux.
Q for save.
Great. Who did that? Well, it's because it's a Docker container, right? And Alpine Linux is super popular with Docker containers. How do we let's install SSH? I like that method. That seemed like fun. Does anyone know how to install stuff on Alpine Linux?
Isn't Docker gonna get in your way because the port's not been exposed?
Not on this case. I crafted it so it wouldn't be a problem.
Well, then you can just create an SSH reverse shell too. You know.
So
Does it have the Does it have the SSH client on it?
let's see. Let's do
APK add open SSH.
which SSH. It's not here.
No client. Okay.
So go ahead.
Can I run it?
Yeah.
I'm actively connected right now, so I can just.
To whose? Yours.
I don't have one running locally.
No. We all are attacking a different server.
Dash got smart from the last time.
I did.
He made.
So it's with APK add. That's how you do it with Alpine, and then we'll do open SSH server.
How does that?
Are some of
I
them?
know I'm connected to a different Kali instance.
And a different server. I spun up 2 Docker containers
You're hooked
per.
up via Docker network.
Yeah.
So I just connected to the network. Well, the Kali instance within the network.
Each player, each person has a Kali box and a text for shell container. And text for shell is only accessible from your Kali machine.
Okay, so you learned from last time.
I did learn from last time because you guys kept deleting stuff in the middle of the class.
Deleting stuff. I was simply killing the process that you connected via.
Yes, killing my process. Yeah. So we have SSH. Let's upgrade to binge/bash because this is driving me nuts. That didn't work either.
Interactive shells are a little harder.
It's a little
Now
hard.
you have SSH though.
Now we have SSH. We need to start it.
You need to start it and add a user that you can log in with.
Okay. How do you start SSH? There's no services. It's Docker.
Bin or do a what is it where you can start a command not in your interactive terminal, but you're gonna want to run the executable for SSH. SSH server executable. I don't know where that is.
I don't know where it is.
.jar.
So I mean, you're not gonna download some screen variant and run it like everything.
Should we do that? Let's do that.
Screen.
Let's just install screen. Installing screen.
Hopefully.
I'm literally just taking ideas and running it for everyone. Screen must be connected to a terminal. Screen
you're
doesn't work.
technically local right now.
Okay. Let's create a user first. Let's do that step first. User, add, hackme. Let's see if it got added. Nope, that didn't work. Add user, hackme.
You have to ask.
There we go. Password 1234. Bad password. 12345. Bad. Okay.
It's like you do what you want, bro.
Hackme. 8. Oh, I killed it. I killed it. I hit Control C.
Gotta run the command again.
Yep.
So
All right. User. No, it was add user, right? Hack me. Nope. Nope. Great.
run add user hack me again.
You might have added it, but just don't have the password.
Oh, you're right. We've already added it, but it doesn't have a password. Password hack me. 801 labs. Suck. ABC123. Thank you, Discord. Passwords don't match. Hack me. ABC123. 2 week.
No, it'll take it. It'll take it. ABC 1 2 3.
All right, there you go.
Let's do SU. Hack me. Nope.
Who am I?
Did
Actually,
that
who
take
am
the
I?
password? Yes. Your root.
Oh.
It dropped.
Okay. But now I'm hack me and you don't have pseudo privileges, so you're not root.
You add it to the group.
Add user hack me root, isn't it? Or sudo. Sorry.
User mod. This is the right way to do it.
I only know Apache.
User mod.
Wheel?
Nope. Do we even have user mod?
Good question.
Nope. We don't even have user mod.
Oof.
So, doesn't the Etsy password file contain that? Can't you technically just modify?
We can.
You can just write
You
it
don't
by
want the
hand.
Etsy password file, you want the Etsy sudo file.
That's true, yeah. Well, sudo and password.
So let's add Python real quick because we want to do that Python upgrade. So APK add Python.
There you go, now you're
Oh.
an actual interactive terminal.
Kind of interactive. You can't autocomplete, but
Semi more interactive than before.
that's way better. So we did a Python upgrade. That's nice.
An actual
Oh, it's
because it just
Python
pulled down
too.
BusyBox, didn't it, too?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so you're just running.
What is the idea of our
There we go.
So,
Let's see if we can add user mod.
books that you log into is this.
Nope.
Can you post the script that you used to...
Yeah. So let me post the scripts that I used. So
Yeah, to upgrade the shell?
No, because it's different in the Docker container.
So this is the payload that I used,
Hold it up, it's where you can't- it's where you-
and then the listener was, this is the listener. Let's post that in Discord too. And then the upgrade came from here. And then this, I'll post that in there too. So there's the upgrade.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We still have not hacked this box. Like we haven't gotten a better access to it. We need to build a better access to it.
Or root.
Backdoors.
Bash, we're root.
Yeah, but we
The bash.
let's say they patch the box,
No,
right?
we want persistence.
We want persistence.
Okay, so a backdoor.
Yes, exactly.
That's what we're doing.
So,
I'm trying to install whatever we want to do.
so we have. Oh, let's go ls bin. So let's see. We installed SSH. Which open SSH server? Where's it installed to? LSS bin. Hey, let's just do find. Why not? Do we have find? We do have find.
Yeah, you
Crap!
can
I
show-
killed my shell. I keep doing that. The nice part is this payload is super stable. You can just run it over and over and over again and it keeps working. That's not always the case. So find grep sh. Nope.
Nothing really fun.
So we got grep, we've got find. Add open server. So we already did that, so it's in here somewhere. Where?
Oh, it doesn't actually show you. It's right IPA. This is web server. You don't get the
This is.
There we go. Links
So let's actually SSH into. Oh, that's never gonna work. Never mind. We got SoCat for building those, but let's go to Google. Or what should we do? Like, how do we do this? Does any suggestions?
Maybe just, if you want another level of persistence, you could do just like some web shell. Just like find some web shell on GitHub, wget it, and then
But we don't have a web server.
Python web server.
Python web server? Do we run a Python web server?
I mean, the last steps. Would
It's
just be,
only Python web servers are only HTTP gets and posts. Question.
We could. It is a choppy way, and it could easily be
Yeah, I guess we can
patched.
look up
Like,
text for sure.
it's not obfuscated at all,
Mm-hmm.
but just cron tab in every 5 minutes to an hour.
We don't have
to net cat out.
It'll send a netcat out.
For me, it's
we don't have cron.
Set up an SSH reversion.
Okay,
Okay.
APK and add cron.
So let's set up an SSH reverse shell. So we
Put that on a cron.
we don't have cron, but we can definitely install it.
Well, then you put it in the, I don't know, Alpine have like
the
a
first thing
recent
is to
start
install a better version of it.
We should install a better version of Linux.
Just upgrade your
For some reason, the hackers upgraded us to Ubuntu 20.
Hello, this is tech support. I'm here to upgrade your
All right, so let's try a Python reverse shell. This SSH reverse shell. I'm not too worried about that. To do that, we need to have an SSH session running on Kali, which we do. But SSH isn't available.
Well, we don't know where it's at. It's here, but
Yeah, I always thought it was like bin SSH or something. Oh, install SSH. You installed the server, but did you install the client?
Let's see. let's just Google it. This is probably a better thing than Alpine Linux install OpenSSH.
Two, yes. You want to input all those. So if you type like, yeah, just run root install SSH.
Try it.
And SSHD.
Don't work.
APK add OpenSSH. Hey, look! Now we've got OpenSSH. Now let's see.
Can you run
Server,
SSH
two other
then
things,
too?
but-
SSHD. Oh yeah.
Let's see if this works.
RC
No.
update is not.
So that since it's a Docker, we don't have.
Yeah, I guess it's just very slow. Is it in bin?
Oh, here we are.
Yeah.
User sbin -d. Could not load keys.
There you go though. That's the SSH process.
That is. So let's do. So it's saying that we don't have any keys. So SSH keygen? Nope.
Killed shell, yeah.
Son of a.
How do you check what operating system you have?
You'll do cat, and then you'll do /etc and then os-release. Okay, so
So if I'm getting Kali Linux, am I not?
you haven't connected to the other box yet. Okay, so we generated that, so then we'll do this other command to actually start it. Great.
Is it interactive now? So
Now nothing's working.
yeah, I think it's interactive. So you might need to do and. I think.
Let's
is
try
it and?
SSH root at for shell.8. Hey, it's running now.
It's run.
Oh, but we never set the root password.
Oh, you can. Oh.
Just hit enter.
Is that right?
Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
One more time.
One more time.
I know you probably forgot to change the password. Try Tor.
Password. Okay, it was
Listening?
ABC123. ABC123. All right, and then what else do we need to do? Let's do Nano, because Nano is better than Vim.
Oh, bullshit.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You trying to get hurt back?
No, I'm just messing with you.
I'm finally starting to agree with them being better than Nano.
It is better than Nano.
It is. It really is.
Okay, so we need to edit this SSHD config and let root. I'm doing Nano because it's fun to mess with you.
Okay, when it breaks. Oh, what's that?
Didn't work.
Getting
What's going on there?
permissions denied. The password change or something?
Even this crappy container or a self-used
Still not working. Great. Oh.
Who worked?
Wait.
No, it did not.
It got further than Nano. That's all that matters.
Get further.
You're trying to edit a file?
Yes.
You have to use sed.
No.
What is said?
All right, let's do it.
Call yourself a Linux.
We can do it.
No, if you don't have like a real terminal and you're hacking, you should be using sed. Because trying to do any file editing like that, it's going to be a nightmare.
Okay, said enable root login. There's already one that someone's written for me. I'm not gonna write it myself. Okay, so we actually need to tweak this a bit. So it's gonna have permit root login. Shoot. Okay. That's not gonna do it. There we go. This one's what we want. I just don't like writing regex because I'm lazy.
This
To
is regex.
yes, more or less. Okay, do we even have sed?
I'm not gonna wizard hat.
Cat/etsy/ssh/sshd. grep permit rule. Okay, that did it. Now we need to kill. We need to kill SSHD.
Then run it again.
And then, yep, run it again. And then let's try connecting to it.
You should be able to get it. Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, that does it.
That's it. That's easy. Now we're in.
Now you've got persistence.
Now we got persistence, more or less, right?
And an
If the
zero.
container restarts, we don't have persistence.
Could you add it to the entry point script?
Do we have an entry
Is there-
point
If
script?
there is an entry point script. Sometimes its entry point is just like nothing.
There is no entry point script.
Because that's one thing that I've seen is if you had like an entry point.sh, then you just slip your stuff in there and it happens.
Anyways, so we actually have SSH to the box. We've got root. This is kind of as far as we can go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave these containers up and running for everyone to play with. Yeah, fine. Let's do it. rm/rf/.
You have to do don't preserve root or whatever.
Or yeah,
it is
dash
now.
dash don't.
No, it's hose, guys. But do you guys have any questions? Most of the class was us screwing around with an exploit, like trying to figure out what we can do after the fact. But the exploit itself isn't too hard. I want to make sure that everyone at least is able to get a netcat listener and running, so you can connect to it and you can run it. If you don't get that far, message me and I'll come and help you.
So where do you go
Is
to
that how you
download the Docker image?
So I have
678 requests.
I posted it in Discord in general.
Why are we using like 3 different?
Because Bash isn't paying attention to where he pastes things in Discord.
Yeah,
I just opened the last channel. That was it.
3 different what?
It's
Discord
like
settings.
hackerspace events, and then hackerspace, and then general.
Oh yeah.
Maybe after.
I
you
just posted in general because I was just posting it late at
maybe
night.
after you can grab them all and put them into one list.
In general.
Make a list of all the things you posted. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good.
So it is.
How does that come out?
Oh,
Here.
that is different. No wonder I was missing some parts.
I'll repost it in general.
I'm like, I'm not even
That
looking at the
wasn't
right place.
general to begin with.
I know, but everyone seems to have lost it. There you go.
So I'll go bury it with a bunch of bullshit.
Please, just bury it. Any questions? How do you guys feel? Do you guys like doing these kinds of exploits?
That's fun,
This is great.
Do you-
Yeah, it's more.
yeah. Now
more
let's take on another one.
experience.
Let's, and
I like
I want to
exploit
try.
by
I want to
fire.
try and do it without netcat.
Now I just.
I've been watching
Why?
Discord and I haven't seen
One-liner.
any questions, so that means they have no questions. That's good.
Next, we need to use log4j to take over your personal Minecraft.
I was gonna. That's a good idea.
I honestly think doing log4j on a Minecraft
Get
server
an
would be
unpatched
hilarious.
Minecraft server. Because they fixed it in Java though, so you're gonna have to get very specific versions to find something vulnerable.
They didn't. It's not a fix in Java itself. It's a fix in a library that Minecraft used. So you get an old enough version of Minecraft, you
So
can
it
still
came-
do it.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it has nothing to do
It
with
was
Java.
packaged- I thought it was a part of the Java.
No, it was
runtime.
packaged into.
It was a feature that someone added to the Log4j package so that they could do remote GDI, and then they didn't realize that had code execution.
Oh, man.
It was a feature.
I think a log4shell
Self-
might would actually be good though. Because log4shell was also pretty entertaining.
So maybe for exploit night next time we we can take log4j and we can run it really quick, but we spend most of the class crafting a better reverse shell, like a payload to run. Maybe we, instead of building netcat, we spin up Metasploit and learn how to use the Metasploit payload generators. Would that be interesting?
That sounds alright.
Do you- Let's see what else. We could take other people's payloads and do it that way. What do you guys want? That's the kind of the question, is because
I think that
we can do an exploit night once a month. Do we want to do it once every other
I
month?
think it's better if we do like we did with a small presentation on how it works. And
Well,
then
we should
like
do
We
a
want
class
to
on
learn to
payloads.
write.
Maybe
Because I think once you learn payloads, then you know payloads, right?
Question.
Well, I feel exploit night just being like normal classes would be better, because if someone else has an exploit they want to do, they don't have to wait for an exploit night. They could just do a normal class for it.
Yeah, you can always teach a class. It's just there's a lot of things that are on the docket, right, that people want to teach.
Well, I think it's worth just doing an exploit every once in a while, like once a month or something.
Once a month.
Okay, cool.
Or whenever it's a big
Does someone else want to run the next exploit night?
Who's gonna help you?
Want to do
You can do it if you find a
the
bug.
My Fair Classic nested keys exploit.
Okay, but that's a different kind of exploit. That's like an RFID. We can get you to do an RFID class on that, but I don't think that fits in line with the exploit night. We're really looking more like exploiting a web app, exploiting a
Okay, fair.
server
Exploration, yeah.
code exploit, right? Not.
Okay. Could
So I mean I can run them all if we want, but you guys will get boring and I'm not so good.
I have a question?
Yeah, you,
Could we do something like look at like a bug bounty from like HackerOne or something like that, and kind of go through like a workflow that someone would go through, or is that too much?
Kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool.
Because I'm really interested in bug bounties, and
Has anyone here successfully gotten money for a bug bounty?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if we can like find an actual bug and
Yeah.
get the bounty paid out to the hackerspace.
exactly.
Well, that's work.
That's even better. Because then we're
do a job.
learning,
Yeah.
but we're also, you know,
I don't think anyone here has successly gotten money from a bug bounty.
If we all pull our efforts
Not
together,
yet.
maybe
Yeah,
we can get
exactly.
10 bucks each.
If we all pull together,
we all get
together.
I think it's a good idea, but I think that's like pretty far in advance from where we're at. We're just barely like running our first exploit, like
Well,
toddler level.
so Bash, let's do the next one. Instead of the next one, we're gonna do payload night.
Okay, so the next exploit night, we'll talk all about payloads. And so we can run this same exploit or one that's simpler maybe.
yeah, alternating
Like
payload
the-
and exploit night, payload night.
Like probably Log4j because that one's way easier to exploit than this one is. It's